We're talking about Squid Game, right?
Oh, Squid Game challenge, yes. Some of you may know it. You're eliminated.
Did you? You did the voice, oh my gosh, of the doll?
Kind of, yes.
Wow.
Who use these
news.
guys?
That's
You
news.
can make each other.
Alright, cool. I think we can kick off with you guys from news round.
We're from News Round, which is children's news for the BBC.
Oh,
Obviously, the show started a long time ago, but children are discovering it all the time. So, what would you like children to take away from the show?
that's a really great question.
Yes, I mean, the thing that is so special about Avatar, I think, is as the seasons progress, we learn more about the philosophical underpinnings of the show. That whole idea of balance, of trying to find what is important to you, but also trying to be in accord with nature and everyone else. So I for me, that always struck me very deeply. Yeah.
And I think what's interesting, Avatar really introduces a lot of big universal stories that we experience in real life and introduces it to the audience and a lot of younger people in a way that they're able to digest it. Honestly, when I watched some of the episodes, I didn't know exactly what was going on until I really dwelled into the story and paid attention more as an adult. And so even for children, for children to learn about things like genocide or heavy duty topics, they're able to understand it while really just they're kids, on the show. So kids talking to kids or kids going through their own experiences, it helps them relate a lot better.
And it does it so well because I think in the beginning it's a little more lighthearted.
Right.
There's a lot more comedy, and it's so the kids can relate to that. And then as they continue, then more of these lessons start to be revealed.
Thank you.
Sure.
Good question.
Sam?
So looking back now at the show, you guys are both iconic characters. Is there anything from your time on the show that still sticks out to you? Any lines from your characters? Any even like characteristics that you still hold in your day-to-day life?
Good question. First of all, I feel really lucky to be a part of the show. When you're an actor and you go to do a certain job, at least for me, it's like, oh, I'm here doing this job. Okay, finish that. What's the next? Oh my gosh, I hope it does well. But again, being a part of the Avatar universe, it has grown so vastly, right? We're here in London, experiencing this. I would say my takeaway from the show, aside from just being a part of it and recording for it, is the lessons I've learned from Suki. People ask me that all the time. Do you think that you're similar to her? I'm like, I hope so. She's a very upstanding character. I hope I could, be somewhat similar. But also the relationships that I've formed over the years. That doesn't happen all the time in cast settings. So that's been really delightful. And yeah, to just go back and hear something that we've all created together is something that's very special.
I had a very different experience than you. I mean, it's when I first started, the Cabbage Merchant was a one-off character. He was supposed to be in one time. So, had 3 characters during that episode. So I thought it was just a one-off. I didn't think I'd be coming back or anything. And then they called me the next season. And after that, by that time I had watched it and I was like, oh, I really want to do it again. And they said, oh, Nickelodeon would like to have you come back for Avatar. And I said, oh my God, do I get to be a bender this time? do I get to be royalty? And they're like, no, remember that cabbage guy? You're going to do him again. And
And people love James.
But it was like so unexpected, and it really shows you that it really isn't me. It's a character that somehow strikes everyone's fancy, and you can't really plan for that,
No.
you know. So now I am very, very grateful. But I never got to like record with the cast, you know.
We didn't always record together. I recorded a lot of them. I was only supposed to be there for one episode as well.
Oh, really?
And thanks to the creators, obviously, and the fans, you know, I kept coming back. But I recorded a lot by myself, and then we would record in pods. So I recorded most of my scene work with Jack DeSena, who plays Sokka, a lot with Jack, and sometimes with May. And then most of us recorded the whole last few episodes together for the ending.
Yeah.
So that was really fun.
It's hard not to feel like imposter syndrome because these guys did such amazing, deeply textured work, and I just screamed my cabbages. So yes, but it's been obviously very fulfilling since. So.
I will say the most iconic line.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And it hasn't been until these conventions. I started doing it like a year and a half ago. And it's not until then that I got to meet everybody. And now I feel very like a family member. But,
Has anyone brought you a cabbage to sign?
oh yes, many. And I'm selling cabbages too. So one person wanted me to sign their a real cabbage. And I was like, well, it's not gonna last very long. So luckily I had some with me. Some plastic.
Okay. And then last question from me. We've got the live action now that's happening.
Which James is in.
Yeah, getting
Yes.
very popular as well. Any words of advice, or what do you hope to see in the future from the new generation that's taking these roles?
I'll leave that to you.
I would like to see more cabbage. I don't know if I'll be coming back, but well, it's so let's cross our fingers.
Yeah, and I will add to that. It was so exciting to know that James was a part of it, and people always ask me, and I said, listen, I might be just a couple years older to play Suki. Anne Maria is gorgeous, and she's, I think, one of the most delicious things about the show. But you never know about cameos, so fingers crossed.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
Mhm.
You'd be very good in Bossing Set.
Thank you. I would welcome that.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Mhm.
Thanks for that as well.
Yeah, speaking of projects, any news about like the upcoming Avatar Studios projects, any involvement that you can confirm or not? We know there's a movie supposed to come
Right.
out next year. Anything you can
And
say about that?
a couple of series. as
And a
well,
couple of
right?
series.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't, we're not really privy to that stuff, especially when they're in the forming stages. So it would be nice. Hopefully we'll get some
Hopefully
calls.
we'll have more
Yeah.
information as things come along, but probably not. Sometimes the fans know more than we do.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, really? Is that true? Oh, that's nice to know. Great.
So
Yeah.
we're as excited about it as the fans are.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's no more questions for you?
Yeah, I think one more. Yeah.
Yeah. Why are these events important for you and for young fans?
That's a really great question. Why are these events so important? Well, for me, it's so important because I really get to see very quickly how what we do has affected someone. And even today, it happens every time I come to a convention. Someone was going through a very serious life event, and to say how, the show has affected them, or I will say a character has affected their life is really touching, and it really means a lot to me. And one of my, not goals, but one of my sayings is that, people say, oh, you're just an actor, whatever. To me, if I make some sort of impact in someone's life, then I know I've done my job. And so seeing that a lot, almost every weekend, it's just a very special thing for me, because I just don't think that acting is just, it's pretend, it's work. It's my acting coach used to have this really great phrase that said, actors reveal what others want to conceal. So as humans, we all have these feelings, but artists are able to make that come alive and help people feel. And sometimes, in real life, we don't want to feel everything that's happening. And so just to see that immediate reaction is a really cool thing. And I would say for the fans, it's a synergistic thing where, one goes with the other. We wouldn't be here if people didn't care. So that's just the truth to it. So I think, we're all here for an experience. And when actors come because they feel like they have to come to conventions, nobody has to be here. It's actually an honor to be able to just do what we're doing, because not everybody gets to.
And especially as voice actors,
Right.
We have very little contact with the audience of what we've done, right? It's not like a play or even a movie
Right.
where they know your face. So it's very exciting to see these people that are so affected by your performance. I did Jackie Chan Adventures, and I'm very surprised here in London. I mean, it's almost divided in half between Cabbage Merchant and Jackie Chan, because everyone comes up and says, "Oh my God, you were a part of my childhood. I would watch you every Saturday." And that just, it makes you feel like really special, really good.
Yeah. I wanted to ask, what are some of your favorite episodes of the show, and what do you like about them?
I really love anytime Azula is on. I don't know, maybe it's a bad upbringing, but I find her really delicious, and so unabashedly evil. And so for me, the finale, where she has the Agni Kai with her brother is just the best, and to watch her slow crumbling, just perfect.
One of my favorite episodes is Appa's Lost Days. And I say that because I remember watching it during pandemic and by myself in my bed, and I found myself crying throughout the whole thing, and Dee Bradley Baker, who brought all the animal characters to life, is just brilliant, because the animal characters they're characters as well as all the kids and the adults. So that is one of my favorite episodes.
And it's also great because you see Suki in a different, different relationship.
Right.
She's not just with Sokka.
Right.
She's her own. She has her own agency, and
That's right.
exciting.
And yeah, she helps Appa, and then she goes into a fight with Azula, and we don't know what happens there, but yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.